This is The American Asian, and I'm your host, Safong O'Fallon. America. The land of opportunity. I was intrigued by a statement I heard from my tour guide when I was visiting Cambodia many years ago. Our young and personable tour guide, whose nickname was Adam, took pride and joy in telling us about his country, Cambodia, sometimes referred to as Cambodge or Kampuchea. Adam shared with our travel group about the time that his Cambodian grandfather, who Adam absolutely adored, had told him to live life as a good person so that in his future life he might be blessed to be reincarnated in either Hong Kong or in the United States. Now, while I believe in the biblical teachings of the afterlife, I was still very humbled and impressed that they considered both my birthplace and my country, where I currently reside, as crowning achievement for a person to be born in. There seemed to be a status symbol attached to being born in these lands, which are deemed very prosperous and offer freedom. By the way, this was told to us years prior to 2020, before China noticeably breached its agreement with the United Kingdom that it would allow Hong Kong to continue its high degree of autonomy in social, economic systems, and in lifestyle until the year 2047. It isn't a secret that many people desire to live in the United States for all the opportunities it has to offer. A person generally has a choice to work for someone else as an employee, be self-employed, own multiple businesses, and so on. Without a doubt, many Americans go to work every day to acquire property just so they can stay independent. The idea of being able to own our own home, car, investment portfolio, or ammunition for protecting ourselves are quite important to so many. To be able to pass on these properties to family or designated organizations is a pride and joy for many who proudly work for what they have. And to be a recipient of property passed down from relatives reflects the demonstration of the rights carried out for those relatives. Many of my friends, notably Asian immigrants, work extremely hard and invest wisely for the businesses and properties that they own and are looking forward to passing it on to the people they care about someday. But when I mentioned to my friends that there are some high-powered people out there who are plotting for us to own nothing, that all of our property that we have are not to be ours anymore, I find three categories of these people: shock and scared. They give me that startled deer in headlights look, as they have never heard of this startling fact. Second category, those who have heard about this push to take away our property rights, but to them it sounds like something they doubt could ever happen here. But is it truly skepticism, or is it denial? Then the third, there are those that are outraged and want to do something about it. And to these people, I say bravo. Sadly, it seems that too many people fall in the first category, the ones who are oblivious to the fact that there are people plotting to keep us from owning our own property. So yes, while you were working, some globalists have been plotting for years to make sure that you'll own nothing in the very near future and make the outrageous claim that you'll actually be happy about it somehow. They say that you don't really need to own anything, as they will just lease things out to you and have things delivered out to you by drone. Hey, by the way, who are they that they will have everything to lease to you? Now, they say that you won't need to have your own automobiles, as they will have driverless automobiles for the sake of a sustainable earth and for safety reasons, due to no traffic accidents, you see. Now, do you see how they snuck in the environment and the proverbial public safety tactics to manipulate your emotions? They do this because it has fooled many people in the past, and those who don't understand history will fall for it again, losing precious liberties. So you won't even have the option to decide if you want to drive yourself wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go, if the globalists get their way. Understand that taking away our property rights is essential for them to implement the Great Reset of 2030, the worldwide change that the globalists are planning to force upon us all. Now, currently, there are other countries which have socialism or communism where properties are community-owned or government-owned, just not owned by any individuals, unless, of course, they are one of those ruling elites. Many evil eyes are focused on causing the United States to fall because private property rights are of high importance for U.S. citizens. So in order for their plans to go through worldwide, they must wreck everything that the United States stand for. So we need to understand that what we own is not just about being proud and satisfied, but our private property is also tied to our liberty. For you cannot have liberty without property rights. This is why the globalists are coming after your private property rights. They detest our liberties, so you must defend these rights while you can. As mentioned before, they will exploit environmentalism, which is climate change and earth resources, as a way to take away your property. They will tell you that you should not travel more than 10 to 15 minutes for anything because of the environment. They have been planning smart cities or bold new cities, which will have living quarters as multi-dwelling units for us to rent. So no single-family homes are to be available. Now, if a person chooses to live in a community that they don't have to travel far, then that is their freedom to choose that. But if you're not allowed to travel more than 10 to 15 minutes, then that's control, a loss of your freedom to do so. These same globalists have been planning a scoring system for all people through digital control. So if they deem that you have misbehaved in any way, then you will get a poor social credit score, and then you might not get that delivery by drone. You may not get to use that public transportation. Remember, nobody will own automobiles. And you may not even get access into your living quarters. In other words, they will decide what you need or what you will get. They are also planning for central bank digital currency so that they can monitor and restrict what you can buy. You don't think this can be a reality? Well, just look at China. They presently have a social credit score system where they can deny people many resources by monitoring their own citizens through digital technology. Presently, citizens in China don't really own anything. China ultimately owns all property, despite how it appears, and they can easily ruin citizens for non-compliance. This is not a system anyone should want. Yet, many government leaders want us to emulate China's system, and some of those leaders reside right here in the United States. So what can you do about this? First, you can understand your rights. We must understand that private property rights are the foundation of all rights in the United States for its citizens. Our nation was conceived in liberty and dedicated to justice for all and values private property rights. John Locke, the philosophical father of the American Revolution and the inspiration for Thomas Jefferson when he drafted the Declaration of Independence, stated the issue simply: lives, liberty, and estates, which I call the general name property. Now, Locke was the first to suggest that human beings have a set of inalienable rights. And founding father James Madison, the principal author of the Constitution, echoed those thoughts when he wrote, "As a man is said to have a right to his property, he may be equally said to have a property in his rights." And the U.S. Constitution, it protects property rights of citizens, notably through several amendments. The Fourth Amendment, the search and seizure portion, says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. End quote, and there's more to that. Now, the Fifth Amendment, the eminent domain portion, says, "Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. They can't just take your property without compensating you for it first. And now the 14th Amendment, which is the due process clauses, says that nor shall any state deprive any persons of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So what can you do secondly? You can awaken your circle of friends and families by exposing the schemes of the globalists, which are comprised of many business people, world and corporate leaders, politicians, and others that tend to brainstorm at meetings held by the World Economic Forum, as well as other global organizations that try to set policies for the world. The more people that are aware of their tactics, the better chance we have to push back against the wrongful plans they will want to force upon us. The third thing you can do, involve your government representatives by holding them accountable and protecting constitutional rights. Let them know that many of us do care and that we demand that our rights be defended. So know who your government representatives are and have a part in who your government representatives will be by voting properly and consistently. Please vote locally as well as nationally. There's much more that can be done. You can support people and organizations who expose and push back against those who are trying to take away our rights. You can also refrain from doing business with any companies that are supporting the evil agendas and letting them know why. Remember, help your friends and family understand what is going on and encourage them to take a stand with you. So keep working diligently and joyfully for your goals, but please pay close attention and be ready to act, always in defending your rights. I am Safong O'Fallon, and I will see you next time at The American Asian. Have a great day.